What's going on, YouTube? Welcome again to another video. So today we're working on my suspension. I just picked up these Rubicon Express Super Lift. Is that what it's called? Super Lift, something like that. But it's a 2.5-inch coil spring lift, and it doesn't come with shocks because I have my own shocks, which are the Fox Racing shocks. These are kind of pricey but I already have them in the front, so I wanted to match the rear. So that's why I got this kit for. Comes the spring kit comes with the lower control arms that are fixed. So it's a 2.5 inches of lift. Comes with the proper length springs instead of what I have right now, which are spacers. And it comes with the longer end links, all that stuff, and proper bump stops for this kit. So now we're gonna also look at. I picked up just the basic impact wrench just in case I need it. Some additional tools, and this one is the front coil spring correction pads, because for the JLs, they you suffer from like what do you call this, the spring bowing. When you look at the spring from the front, you see it like kind of curved like that, and because of the spring pad, the stock spring pad is not as strong as this aftermarket one is, and it's so this one should correct that. So that's what we got it for. And lugs, these ones are longer than what I have right now on my aftermarket wheels. So my stock one was like this, and this one's gonna be like this. It's just easier to grab onto when you're taking off the wheel. It's more of a preference. It's not a necessity. So here it is. We're gonna get started, and we got the shocks removed right now, and we're removing these shock extensions on both sides, and then we're gonna move on to the end links. Alright, so we got all the necessary things disconnected so that we can lower the differential, the rear diff, and the rear axle with it. So we're gonna do that now. So we got the spring, the stock springs out. We're just resizing the sway bar bolt hole there so that we can accommodate the new larger bolt that goes in. Just I don't know why they don't reuse the old ones, but that's the instructions, so we're just following it. We just kind of grinding it out a little bit. It's not too much, just a ½ inch. So just kind of making the hole a little bit bigger so that this hole will fit. And then we'll put the springs on, and then we'll be done with the rear. Hey guys, so getting the track bar back into that bracket right there is kind of hard, because as soon as you disconnect it, the axle shifts this way. So it gets out of alignment. So you have to muscle it somehow, or if you have a device to push the axle while you're tightening that bolt or getting the bolt in there. So two people is the best, and if you're strong enough, you can just grab onto your frame and kind of step on your hub here and then push it in, and that's basically what we did. And then we were able to kind of wiggle the screw in there, and then we're able to close it. But this is pretty tough on its own, so just give you guys a inside on that one. So we're just tightening up the bump stop pads. I torqued everything down now, so torqued the top bolt here, the bottom end links, bump stop. I got the brake lines back. I got the emergency brake cable back to its perch here, and torque the top nut here, top bolt here, also the bottom bolt there. Track bar bolt is also torqued, so we're good here. All I have to do is finish tightening up the bump stop pads, and then I'll put the wheels back so we can move to the front. Alright guys, so now we got the wheels installed, torqued the spec 130 on the lugs, and now we're gonna move on to the front. Alright, so we're working on the front now. The front should be a little bit easier, but it has its own challenges because the differential jacking point there is offset. So we have to figure out a way to jack the car up high enough so that we can work on the axle here, because it has to be free and we can't have anything resting on the axle. So we're using 2 jack stands. I don't know, we're gonna figure it out. But it's easier because we don't have to change the shocks on this one. I already have the Fox Racing shocks on the front, so we just have to maneuver the springs out of there, put the longer end links, and then we should be done. If we have a way of just compressing the spring, I think we have a way of just compressing the spring, and then we'll just work on it that way, so we don't have to remove all these components, especially the track bar on the front, because I don't want to. If you remove the track bar on the front, we have to figure out a way to kick the axle a certain way again so that we can line it up. And with this kind of jacking setup, I'm not sure how secure it is, and so we'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know what we do. Alright, so we removed the springs on the front. We had to basically disconnect everything, same as the rear, the track bar and all. So now we are gonna replace the spring isolator on the front here. This plastic thing, it's the one that's causing the spring bow that you see on JLs, with a Daystar spring correction kit. So the kit comes with 3 isolators, like 1, 2, and another one here. I think there's a double of one of them. So, but the spec sheets only show 1, but there's 3, and one of them they all have part numbers. 05. This one's an 05. I think this one's the 07. So the 07 is the passenger side, and the 05 is the driver side. So, all right, guys, I need a correction. So on the spring pad correction, it says 0005. As you can see here, one is driver, one is passenger. They said the 05 is a driver and the 07 is passenger. So they gave you 3. You're supposed to use both 05s. So I don't know why they have that as confusion, because if they say that the 07 is a passenger, it doesn't work. So the orientation of the spring wants you to have a notch on this side, so that's fine. So yeah, so just use both 05s, at least for the JL. So it's almost dark out. We managed to get all the components back and bolted. So the shocks, springs, end links, the track bar, it took some wiggling to get them to meet up, because of we're using 2 jacks, and it takes some wiggling. So you lift one side, you lift the other side to get the track bar to meet at the bracket. So it just takes some trial and error. So now it took us a long time because of all those little things here and there that we have to address. So now we're just torquing as much bolts as we can without torquing the lower control arms, because we do that when the weight of the car is on it. So we're doing all that. So yeah, we're gonna torque it now, and then we're gonna put the wheels back on, set the car down, drive it around the block, let the suspension and all the components settle, and then we're gonna check the bolts again. So this video might go on until tomorrow, depending on the light. So I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, we are now in the next day. So it took us all day to install the suspension lift because you know, the tools, the challenges like I mentioned earlier, and also maneuvering the front end to line up with all the components took us a long time. Also the lack of tools, so we only had basic hand tools, but that should be enough. It's just that some people's basic hand tools is more comprehensive than our basic hand tools. We don't have a lot, so here we are. So the lift, all good. I drove it just now, driving around, slow speed, fast speed. But what I want to show you guys mainly is, look at this thing. Look how straight that spring is, and that's because of this thing, the Daystar spring correction pad. I don't know if I showed you before, but this thing was like that, like curved with the stock spring pad, and now look how straight that is. It's just amazing how this thing just corrects it all. And now I don't have spacers all around. I don't have spacers on my springs. I love that. And this is the proper height. I'm parked at like an angle, so if you see this compressed because I'm like downslope like this. So see the end links is also really long. So compared to the stock one, so this Jeep, when I got it, was already lifted, but for some reason they were still using the stock links, and I wonder if that was a bad thing, or because on this kit they provided a longer link, and it was lifted about the same height. So I just want to know, did it matter or not matter? Hopefully it didn't damage anything long term for them not running a longer link. But so far I took it on several trips already with that setup, so hopefully I didn't damage anything. I took it off-roading, so with the sway bar disconnected, so I guess, I don't know, whatever. So anyway, the Fox shocks. I gotta say something about the Fox shocks. So before I had Fox in the front already, right? So I know how that front end feels, but the rear, the way the rear changed with the rear Fox shocks, as you can see here, I got the matching adjustable Fox rear shocks, because before it was the Rubicon Rubicon, just stock Rubicon on a spacer, yeah, on an extension bracket. So it was fine. It was soft. It was comfortable on the freeway. All that stuff. It's fine. But once I changed to this, driving it around, I feel the road, which is really weird because it's like an attribute you say when you what do you call that, when you're on sports cars, when you change the suspension to like coilovers. That's exactly how I feel. Like, you feel the road more. There's more road feel. And it's funny to say on a truck, maybe it's a thing, because I never had a Jeep, I never had a truck, so it's just really odd. So, but it's such a nice feeling to actually know where you're rolling on. So I'm still configuring the shock settings. I have it on, let me see, I'm still configuring the shock settings. I'm on like the medium setting, like full click to the right, full hardness, and then I backed it out like maybe three clicks or maybe 2 clicks, I don't know. I backed it out 3 clicks, so a little on the firmer side, not full hard. So I still don't know the settings to what I really want, so I'm still playing around with the settings. But it's good that it's adjustable. I can just hop out of the car and turn the knobs. So that's, usually what I do with motorcycles, and it's nice I can just do it on the car now, on a Jeep. So yeah, I'm really satisfied with the kit. I mean, $549. Yeah, the kit's $549. It works for me. I mean, it's essentially a budget build, but if you're piecing your kit together, because I have the shocks in the front already, in front and rear, I just need the springs. So those shocks in front and rear are expensive. It's like 1350 front and another 1350 on the rear, plus the springs. So they're like equivalent as a kit. They're like equals. They equal the other expensive ones that are all in one with the shocks. So um, I don't know if I saved money there, but I know I have better shocks than the regular kits. But my spring maybe not as good, but I don't know. I'm okay with it. I'm not so aggressive with my lifts. I just wanted to have clearance and to be able to not rub as much, because I think I gained about an inch on this lift compared to the spacer lift that I had before. So I hope I don't rub as much. I know I'm still gonna rub on the bumper here on full flex, because that's just the nature of this bumper. That's why you have stubby bumpers on, on most Jeeps that actually off-road their Jeeps, because you're hitting that as soon as this tire moves up, it will hit it. I for sure it's gonna hit this thing. So, but I don't always do that. I don't always rock crawl or anything like that. So when I do, I'll just keep that in mind to, that happens. Anything else? Yeah, everything's torqued. I just need to get an alignment. I haven't gotten an alignment, so I'm still trying to find a shop that will do an alignment. Not all shops around my area do Jeeps or trucks, lifted applications, so I gotta find a proper one. Oh, one last thing. You guys see, I just started to notice this because I look at my Jeep all the time. I think I have it too far out. I don't know if there's a detrimental effect if I have it too far out. I might move it a little bit. There's like one bolt I can shift it. I can shift the tire carrier a little bit inward. So it's kind of, now that I look at it more, it's kind of wonky, but it's kind of nice to be able to clean back here, So I don't know. Just one thing. Let me know what you guys think. Here's the rear shot. The Jeep looking proper. Just missing a roof rack. Yeah, it's missing a roof rack. I might see one more thing. See, I'm actually want to change my freaking rock rail step thing to a more low profile one. So I don't know. See, the more I look at it, the more I want to change things. So I gotta stop thinking about that. All right, guys. Hopefully you guys like this video. It's kind of hard to film while having problems in installation, but we went through it. Hopefully you guys like the video, and hopefully give me a thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.